Hey everyone. You might be wondering why I'm laying in a hammock in the back of my store. I threw my back out a little bit yesterday at the gym because apparently once you hit your early 30s, stretching actually is important, and this hurts less. So I'm just going to do a quick kind of informational update from here, and I hope that no one minds. I've been getting a lot of questions about, like, oh, I thought there were a lot of fish in the river. There's, the reports from a couple weeks ago and everything like that shows that there's a lot of fish. So basically, the way I always explain it is when we get an early push of fish in the season, which we did, it's very easy to make it look like the fishing was really great and there were a ton of fish. And I'm not saying that there weren't fish, but when it's earlier in the season, there's less people. And usually the people that are here early are ones who have been here before and know what they're doing anyway. So when there's less people, even a small couple pushes of fish, you can really move around to find them. Whereas once more people start coming in, you're kind of restricted to one spot. So when you have the ability to move around and essentially like hunt for the fish, you will get into them. Even in smaller groups, like it definitely makes it easier. And then all it takes is a few pictures of people posting, oh, I had this many hookups today to make it look like the river was packed. I'm not saying that there weren't fish or that the fishing wasn't good. I just don't want anyone who's starting to show up now to panic and think that, oh, they missed the big run. They haven't. The run's still coming. We're waiting on it. We're going to need some rain and cooler weather and everything like that. You didn't miss it. I promise you, there are more to come, so don't panic. Secondly, some reports, especially like from the lower parts of the river, report pretty heavily that there's a ton of fish coming through, and they post all these pictures saying, hey, this is how many we caught today, blah, 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 blah. Again, I'm not saying there aren't fish coming through, but once you start getting closer to the estuary, which is like where the fish move in from the lake, and the first part of the river, they're coming in at higher concentrations. Like when they move into the river, they move in thicker groups. There's bigger concentrations of those fish moving in. So people that are fishing on the lower parts of the river, like the DSR, for example, they're seeing those groups more condensed. So it's easier to get into them sort of like one right after another when they're moving through. As the fish move up the river, they're going to spread out and get more dispersed. So it's harder to find them in those big groups, which is why as it gets further up the river, people say, oh, I know the lower parts were killing them. And then, as they're getting up further, I'm not seeing as many. What's going on? Where are the fish? Did they turn around and go back into the lake? No, that's not really the case. It's just more, they're sporadic as you get further up the river. So you have to move around for them a little bit more or find them or wait for them to come through. So just so everyone knows, we're still waiting on bigger pushes of fish. That's not a problem. I think once we get some rain and cooler weather, which is the norm, they're going to move through. But as of right now, fishing's kind of spotty. We're waiting on that. I don't think the weekend will be terrible, but I definitely don't think it's going to be great. Just my opinion. I've been proven wrong before, but from my experience, that's sort of what I'm seeing. So that way, everyone knows, there's more to come. Don't worry, we're still going to see a lot of good fishing this season.